What's good, guys, and welcome to episode 3 of the Chokecast podcast. I'm your host, Haroon, aka Slump, and today I have a reoccurring guest, Sheed, aka rtyree22 on Twitter. And today we're going to be giving you guys our thoughts and opinions and even predictions on the 2019 free agent class, where they're headed, where they're confirmed to be going. And yeah, with that being said, let's get into it. The first name that obviously everybody is surprised but ecstatic about is Kyrie Irving actually going to the Brooklyn Nets instead of going to the New York Knicks or even staying as many people expected at the beginning of the season. Now, reporters and all these sources coming out stating that Kyrie is essentially a done deal. The second free agency opens up at 6 p.m. Eastern tomorrow, or today, as you guys will be watching. So yeah, I think that's pretty much a done deal. And there are some questions on who he'll be bringing with him. What are your thoughts on Kyrie going to Brooklyn, Sheed?
All right, first off, what's good, y'all? But second, with the whole Kyrie situation, I think it was kind of like pretty much known around the league with like all this stuff around throughout the season with the talks of him going to New York. It's just a lot of people thought the Knicks possibly, but with him reportedly buying that house in the Brooklyn area, like I think it was kind of like a dead giveaway that Kyrie was going to head to Brooklyn. And in terms of somebody joining him, I mean, it looks pretty bleak right now, I would say, because there's a lot of reports going out there saying that Kevin Durant wants to make his decision on his own and doesn't want to be lobbied by anybody. So with that being said, it looks like this was a move that Kyrie kind of made on his own, but we'll see how it plays out.
And to give off some more details about the situation, in my honest opinion, I think it's best for the Brooklyn Nets to not go after KD. And I know that's insane. KD is a top 10 player in the league, even after he comes back from his Achilles injury. But let's face the facts here, okay? Right now, the Brooklyn Nets have about $67 million to work with after they renounce everybody, and I mean everybody that's currently not on their active roster. And to max out both Kyrie and Kevin Durant, because obviously we know financial security is something that's going to be crucially important for Kevin Durant this upcoming free agency period. They'd have to trade one of two players, okay? And these two players are going to be extremely important in their depth and with what they're able to do come the postseason, especially without Kevin Durant. And those two guys are Spencer Dinwiddie, who in my opinion is one of the best sixth men in the league, and Joe Harris, a complete sharpshooter, a marksman from three. So I think it'd be kind of stupid for them to just put everything on two very toxic beings and hoping that they'd be able to bring a championship to Brooklyn, especially with the rumors going on about Kawhi Leonard to the LA Lakers. I think it's best to just keep your guys, add Kyrie, let go of D'Lo, and bring in some guys to fill out the roster as needed. But yeah, those are my overall and overarching thoughts about the Kyrie to Brooklyn deal. And do you think Kyrie going to the Nets it would be an upgrade over D'Angelo Russell as it stands?
I think from a pure talent standpoint, it's an upgrade because, I mean, I think it's pretty obvious to say that Kyrie Irving is more talented. But maybe from a fit standpoint, D'Angelo Russell probably fit a bit better. But, I mean, when Kyrie comes into town, he's one of those players where it's like you'll change the way you play to benefit him and to have him showcase his talents more. So from a pure talent standpoint, as I said, I would say Kyrie is probably better than D'Angelo Russell, but D'Angelo Russell might be the better fit.
Yeah, I think Kyrie obviously is far more talented, but with, Kyrie's personality and how the Nets are culturally structured. How they're culturally structured. I think they may clash heads at some point, especially if Kyrie's not bringing the results that everybody expects. So yeah, I think this would be. I think it's obvious, like it has to happen, regardless about Kyrie's toxic personality. I think if you're the Nets, you have to sign on a star like him. when we look at the most marketable players in the league, Kyrie is literally top 5. He may not be top 5 in talent, but in terms of star power and marketability, he's up there.
Yep.
So I think Kyrie to Brooklyn is a done deal, and I think it's a great deal, even if they're not able to woo a Kevin Durant to the Brooklyn Nets this upcoming season. Now, in return, there's also another star point guard on the move, and his name is Kemba Walker. Kemba Walker is reportedly signing a deal with the Boston Celtics the second free agency opens up as well. Like, I don't understand it. What is the league? Yeah, like, what's up with the tampering policy? Are teams just bypassing that?
Well, they do say that the agents technically are able to speak, and you know how it works in today's day and age. If everybody's doing it, they kind of bat an eye to it and just kind of ignore it, you know.
It's just disgusting to me, man. Like, give teams a fair shot. Hear their pitches in person. Stop with this nonsense. But yeah, apparently Kemba Walker is going to be filling the void left by Kyrie Irving in Boston. And by a talent standpoint and a cultural standpoint, do you think that this will actually benefit Boston in the long run, or will it be detrimental to their future success?
I think that's tough. I think it'll end up benefiting them in the fact that Kyrie was probably going anyway, and their replacement was probably going to be Terry Rozier, and I don't think they would have been able to like recapture that flash that they had 2 seasons ago with that playoff run. So I think in terms of that, when you're comparing Kemba to Terry, I think it'll help them and benefit them and make them a better team. But when you put up Kyrie and Kemba, I don't know, because like similar with the D'Angelo Russell thing, I think Kemba's a better fit, but Kyrie's obviously more talented. But then again, I think Kemba is he's at a point in his career where he just wants to win. So he'll probably just do whatever it takes to win. Whereas you have a guy like Kyrie Irving who's already experienced winning, and that might not be the most important thing to him anymore. So I think maybe a player like Kemba fits just based off of pure winning factor.
Yeah, and on top of that, like with the Boston Celtics, how their roster is structured right now, it makes no sense to not add a star like Kemba Walker.
Right.
And the thing is, like, even though Kyrie's obviously better, I don't think there's that big of a drop-off to warrant Boston Celtics just avoiding Kemba altogether. Like, right now, the Boston Celtics only have, 7 players on their active roster?
Yeah.
And they have literal just one max slot, like literally just $34 million.
Yep, barely enough.
To use. So just go after him, get him, fill the roster with some vet minimum guys. It's going to suck seeing Marcus Morris walk. Yeah, sure. Okay, who cares, honestly? You guys are still.
That's a tough loss, kind of, but
I see
where you're going.
It is, but they can't afford him. Like,
that's very true.
He's gonna get $12 to $15 million.
Right. They're just gonna have to cut their losses.
Exactly, and especially with Nikola Mirotic leaving, like that stretch 4 position, like that stretch 4 becomes barren. Yeah, it's becoming more desirable for other teams. So I think he's getting a bit of a pay raise with Nikola's decision. So just get Kemba Walker. Get your rookies on board and fill out the roster with whatever you can get at this point, man. Just cut your loss to Danny Ainge. Sure, it sucks having Kyrie Irving leave on you, but at least this makes the vacancy left by Kyrie less bitter. But still, even with Kemba Walker coming in, I do think Boston's going to take a massive hit this upcoming season, especially with Al Horford leaving. But still, good job. Good job at least getting a star. To kind of give the fans some entertainment night in, night out. But do you think this will also help the young guys a bit, like Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum?
I think it'll definitely help them because it opens up more space for them to kind of be themselves and do what they were doing, like I said, 2 years ago. And hopefully they can tap back into that because, as they showed, they can hang with a lot of the top teams in the East if they do what they're supposed to do. So having a guy like Kemba, I think, will probably enhance them a little bit in that aspect and kind of take the pressure off them when it's needed, but they'll be able to thrive just enough.
Exactly. And Kemba is a much more friendly guy to work with than Kyrie Irving is. Kyrie Irving obviously carries around with him his ego, but Kemba being somebody who actually sacrifices for the better of the team, I think they'll have no issues working with him, and I think he's going to bring a new energy to the Boston Celtics. Sure, they may fall down in the standings, probably end up a sixth or seventh seed, losing to Giannis once again. It is what it is. You got to cut your losses, move on, be happy with what you got. Because Kemba Walker is better than nothing. He's better than Terry Rozier,
Yes, he
like
is.
by far. Like, it is kind of hilarious seeing Michael Jordan being this complete moron, not giving the best thing that's ever happened to his franchise, the supermax that he deserves, by enduring those hardships he's had to deal with in Charlotte. And now, in
Yeah.
Charlotte, they're getting a new point guard, Terry Rozier.
Great segue.
Do you want to talk about that before I get into it? Because, man, I got some things to
yeah,
say.
like I already know where you're going with it, but I mean, obviously, it's a severe downgrade, and it really just doesn't make any sense to me. Like you said, like Kemba did everything for that franchise, everything and more at that point, and actually was never one of the highest paid players on the roster. Took multiple pay cuts and just let other people ahead of him in the pecking order in terms of on the financial side of things. So it's just it doesn't make any sense. And then all of a sudden they want to fork up the money for Terry Rozier, who, I mean, other than like that one playoff run, hasn't really shown much.
Yeah, he had a massive downgrade this 2018-2019 NBA season. And as it stands and, as the Charlotte Hornets, as the roster is currently structured, I look at that Shea Gilgeous-Alexander trade and laugh at it even more. Because this team just stacks up on forwards, but they absolutely refuse to actually get a solid piece at point guard or even at the shooting guard spot. And they let their guy leave for nothing. And in return, they get a guy who's going to be not worth his contract at all. In Terry Rozier, like it's just gonna be a train wreck in Charlotte. They won't even try to tank.
Nope.
They won't even
stay middle of the road.
It's disturbing, man, and they're probably gonna have to give up some assets to get off, Bismack Biyombo's deal, or they might be lucky and walk into a team who's going to be willing to accept Marvin Williams' 1 year, $15 million contract.
Mm-hmm.
So
they're gonna have to hope and pray the development of Miles Bridges, Malik Monk, and some of them boys down there develop.
Jay Washington and Jalen McDaniels, it's all bad. It's all bad.
They're preying on the potential, and I mean, at the moment it doesn't seem to be there, but time can change. Things can change. We'll see.
They're the worst ran franchise in all of basketball. The worst. You can't name a franchise that's ran worse at this current time. Sacramento was bad for a while, but now they're coming up, and they're actually paying their guys. You see them paying Harrison Barnes over 4 years, paying him $88 million. You see them trying to go after a center. Al Horford was in the rumors, but I don't think
he was. Maybe that was possibly the mystery team.
Yeah, but as it stands, I think it's going to be the New Orleans Pelicans.
Yeah, I've seen that as well.
Yeah. But even then, they're trying to pay somebody like an Enes Kanter to just.
They're trying. That's all that matters.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They're trying to win and compete. They know they have their young guys already. Tanking is out of the window. They could care less about it at this moment.
Right.
And they're actually putting out a hyper entertaining product.
Competent roster.
Yeah. The fans can enjoy it, But in Charlotte, which is a fantastic city, they're dealing with this trash and disgusting.
And that's only going to hurt their free agency pitch to every other free agent after this. If they couldn't get anybody with Kemba there, I can only imagine how it's going to be when I'm not there.
I truly think Michael Jordan is the Donald Sterling of this era. I really do.
Jordan, of all people, just doesn't make any sense.
Disgusting, man. With that being said, there's another free agent who's apparently going to stick with his team. A refreshing change in pace. Nikola Vucevic apparently is re-upping with the Orlando Magic on a 4-year, $100 million deal.
Which I said,
I hope he gets traded. I hope he gets traded in January. But even then, it's good to see Orlando actually rewarding the guys who stuck with them and actually played really well this season.
Very true. Yeah.
I hate the fact that it's going to, hurt Mo Bamba unless he's traded, obviously. But what are your thoughts on Vucevic re-upping with the Orlando Magic?
I kind of just hinted at it. I don't think he's going to be there
Yeah,
very long.
yeah.
I feel like it's a situation that you're far too familiar with is going to reoccur, like the Blake Griffin situation. I think he might sign this new deal, and he might be out of the door very quickly if they get the correct offer, especially because I think once he's under contract, more teams will be interested, so they don't have to fight for his services, and they can just make an easier deal and get off some of the contracts that they probably don't want anymore. And like you brought up, Mo Bamba, it's like I feel like they drafted him for a reason, right? Like this was supposed to be his moment. Like now, like you're probably not. I mean, yes, they made the playoffs last year, but you're probably not going to win anything. So why not usher in your youth and try to develop them and get them better, especially when Mo Bamba's potential is probably pretty much is higher than what Vucevic is now.
Yeah, I was hoping Vucevic.
Better. So.
That's what I'm saying. I think Mo Bamba would, like, if he just got the chance to shine, man.
Right.
Like, just let him grow with his young boys. Okay, let him grow with his teammates.
Right.
Stop trying to stop the man from prospering. Let Vucevic go. Like that, I'm just disappointed.
But maybe they get something for him now.
Yeah,
like, it might turn into something because then if they get somebody for him, then it might turn into another building block.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I was praying that Vucevic went to the Sacramento Kings. I was hoping, man.
That'd actually be a perfect fit.
That's what I'm saying. Like
absolutely perfect.
Just
him
trade
and Aaron in the pick and roll with Bagley out there. Ooh.
Crazy. I hope they trade him to Sacramento for like a first-round pick, a protected first-round pick at that. Okay, like just let it happen.
He has to find his way to Sacramento.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. And with him being one of the marquee free agent centers in the market, there's another one, Al Horford. As it stands, we really don't know much about his whereabouts. Like there are rumors of teams interested in his talents. But who do you think he'll sign with once free agency opens up tomorrow?
I feel like with Al Horford, it's a big question mark right now. But like we were just mentioning a couple minutes ago, the whole New Orleans thing, like Instagram's a telling source nowadays. Like Instagram's vying with Woj at this point. Like the fact that he had communication with Zion through that and some other players on the Pelicans, I think it's some telltale signs. I mean, it looks like the Pelicans, and if they get him too, they could be dangerous in a couple seasons.
Not a couple seasons. This upcoming season.
Right away? Ooh,
right away.
I don't know. Right away. There's a lot of young guys out there, but they could be. The talent is there, but, it takes some of those young guys some years to have competition to really get into it.
Listen. All I have to say is he's going to be he'd be a perfect mentor for all their young guys.
Really
and alongside Drew, like, I think they're 100% a player.
If those guys don't pan out with them two as their vets, then
that's what I'm saying. Like, it's just going to be a fun team to watch. Like, if what happens with the Lakers, I'm watching the Pelicans and I'm watching the Memphis Grizzlies and nothing else, man. The NBA is getting boycotted by me. Like, those are the only two teams I'm going to tune into night in, night out. The rest of the teams can just, screw off. Like, I'm sorry.
I think you'd throw the Hawks on that list, too, if you want to
yeah. But,
Hawks will be a fun watch.
100%. But the Hawks aren't my cup of tea, so I'm just going to have to pass up on them.
Yeah, we know you're a known Trae Young hater.
I mean, I'm proud for the man, but come on, man. Come on. Like, I think the Pelicans are the definite favorites to land Al Horford's talents as it stands. But with that being said, I guess we could talk about the guys who are unknown at this current moment. Kawhi, KD, JB, all these guys, man. Who do you want to start off with first?
I think it's best we start off with Durant because he's the biggest domino right now.
Yeah.
With that injury.
I really want him to make his decision fast, but obviously that's not going to happen. He's just going to wait, man. It's going to be gut-wrenching.
I feel like he already knows what he's going to do, and he's just.
I do too.
He wants the world on pins and needles.
Yep, he wants everybody to know that he made his decision on his own,
Yep.
and not by some, outside, situations pushing him to make that decision, like Kyrie Irving going to the Brooklyn Nets,
Right.
or where Kawhi Leonard signs. I think he wants this to be his move and his move only, and I think that might actually influence Kawhi Leonard to do the exact same thing, or
Yep.
even Jimmy Butler, which is just disgusting to me.
Everybody's looking for their time to shine. Everybody wants it to be their summer.
Like the three guys I want on the Clippers, just milking it out. But okay, you said Kevin Durant, so my stance is this.
Oh boy.
I'm very, very pessimistic when it comes to my team, the Los Angeles Clippers.
Very.
And we know that KD has actually went to a Jerry West-led team in the Golden State Warriors. He sat in a room with him, had a discussion, respects him dearly, respects him enough to ruin, his image in a way by going there. So I think the Clippers, as currently structured, with Doc Rivers as head coach, with Lou Williams and Montrezl Harrell there, two guys who Kevin Durant respects a crazy ton, and then Steve Ballmer, this loony owner who will do whatever it takes to win.
Yep.
I think the Clippers are the underdogs in this entire Kevin Durant pitch free agency moment. I think they're getting him. I think he's coming to my Los Angeles Clippers.
Oh, wow.
I am sorry.
We have a prediction.
I think he's just
positive prediction at that.
That's what I'm saying. I think he's just trying to toy with the fans in New York, Brooklyn and the Knicks. And I think he's going to sign with the LA Clippers. I think the bridges have been burnt in Golden State. I'm putting my foot down. He's coming to the Clippers.
All right. In my opinion, to be honest, I think how you said about the Kyrie situation, Kevin Durant definitely wants to make it seem as if he made this decision on his own and was influenced by nobody. So with that being said, I think if Kyrie to Brooklyn is finalized, I think you could take Brooklyn out of the equation, because then it makes it look like he followed Kyrie or Kyrie influenced him. So I think they could probably be last on the list. And then third on the list, I would have to say the Clippers. I'm sorry, Slump, but I'm gonna have to say the Clippers are third, just because I don't think all this New York hype for a whole season was fake. There's no way it could have been. He has way too many connections to New York. His agent is the biggest Knicks fan out there, and there's just been conversations about it all season long. So I think that's a real threat to lure him away from Golden State. And like you said, the bridges are burnt probably in Golden State. So with that being said, I think my prediction would have to be the Knicks. And I can't believe I'm honestly saying this, because I can't there's never been a marquee free agent since this has been going on in the league to go to the Knicks other than Amari Stoudemire. So for them to
we know how that turned out.
Right. So for them to land Kevin Durant sounds completely outlandish, but it's got to happen eventually. And if there's somebody that would do it, I think Durant's the one, because it's if he finds a way to win a championship in New York, you got to put him in the GOAT combo. You got to.
I will say this. You have great reasons to believe that he's headed to the New York Knicks. Chris Haynes literally came out 2 days ago on Thursday.
Chris Haynes is a fan man too.
Yeah, and Chris Haynes is a legitimate reporter, and he's in with all these marquee free agents, Kawhi Leonard and Kevin Durant, the top two guys. He's going to be the guy who breaks the story.
100%.
Without a doubt in my mind. The dude literally interviewed Uncle Dennis, okay? And so when he comes out and says that if Kevin Durant goes to New York, it's going to be the Knicks and not the Nets on Colin Cowherd's show.
Yeah.
I think, obviously there's great
that Knicks threat is real.
Yeah, and on top of that, the Knicks can bring back DeAndre Jordan using bird rights. They can pay him a great amount. They can pay him $10 million.
And for some reason, there has been noise that they want to Durant's camp and Durant, they want to play or include DeAndre Jordan in their plans.
Yeah,
there was
100%.
Of him joining with them, even if he went with Kyrie.
Yeah. But the thing is, he wouldn't be able to join Kyrie and Kevin Durant in Brooklyn. There's no way through
Right.
the cap that it'd work, and I doubt
Exactly.
the New York Knicks would try
But his
and
name of
help
all
them
people
out.
coming up is just like it's
No,
a.
I mean it makes sense. They're
And
good
yeah,
friends. They're good
that's
friends.
what I'm saying. That's with him being a good friend and him just being on the Knicks and possibly interested in returning to them. I mean,
With that being said,
no one's gonna say Durant followed DeAndre Jordan.
exactly,
So.
exactly. And on top of that, though, I just gotta say this, okay? The Clippers are a team that could actually end up paying Kawhi, Kevin Durant, and DeAndre Jordan. If
Does DeAndre want to come back?
Yeah, 100%.
He might.
100%. Yeah, he's getting his jersey
I do
retired.
remember that. Yeah, I do remember that. He did say he would be open to return after he left for Dallas.
So
he did say that.
This is what I'm gonna say. Okay, I have the Clippers number 1 for Kevin Durant, the Knicks number 2, Golden State Warriors number
third?
3. Yeah, Golden State number 3. And
I think Brooklyn's out of the running.
I think Brooklyn's out too. I'm gonna be completely honest. I don't think he's going.
I think it's a 3-team race right now.
Yep,
also,
exactly.
One thing I will throw in there that I seen earlier this week was earlier I think it was maybe last week now on Gilbert Arenas' podcast. Lou Williams was on there, and Lou said that of all the free agents he wants to be a part of the pitch, he wants to be a part of the Kevin Durant pitch. Kevin Durant is the one that they think. That the Clippers think is the missing link over Kawhi and Jimmy. They think Durant is the perfect fit, and he is the missing link to them overcoming everyone in the Western Conference. So
I was on that same boat. I was on that same boat.
Lou Williams going into that meeting, I think, would help a lot because Lou Williams might not be thought of as like a superstar in our league around the NBA, but to the players, he's one of the most respected players in the league, and people love him.
Dude, bro, I love Lou Williams so much.
People love Lou Williams.
It's hard to hate.
His word means a lot.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's hard to hate Lou Will, but I hate Lou Will for that, okay? Because before Kevin Durant tore his Achilles, I was on board. I was like, Kevin Durant over Kawhi. But now it's like, stop trying to push Kawhi out.
Don't say the negative stuff. You gotta keep it even kill for everybody. I feel that. Like,
the Lakers are about to go into their meeting with Kawhi and play that clip. Like, you're giving him, like, no, Lou, why?
Yeah.
But yeah, like, I think the Clippers are going to land Kevin Durant. I'm sorry, I just do. Okay, I will beat myself
up for it. You're being optimistic for once, so I feel you, but because you're like you said, you're never optimistic. But I mean, the fact that you are here, it shows a lot. Like the Clippers are just as serious a threat as the Knicks are to lure him from Golden State. So we shall see.
Yep, and with that being said, we're gonna have to talk about the heartbreak kid. Okay, I'm sorry. We're gonna leave your Miami Heat, for last. We're gonna leave y'all for last. We're gonna be talking about Kawhi Leonard and his free agent suitors. I've had a grip with Adrian Wojnarowski for a long time now. Okay, this constant pandering to Steve Ballmer and the Los Angeles Clippers has just got to stop, man. Act like a man for once. Stop being an idiot. Do you actually think you have sources coming out from Kawhi Leonard's camp? No, they do not mess with you, Woj. Let's be real here. They do not care. Your sources are 50-year-old owners and general managers. You have nothing to do with the players.
Lawrence Frank's out there, though.
Yeah,
Lawrence Frank helped Woj a lot, so I mean, it makes sense.
Yes.
I mean, it can't all be nonsense. Woj is the biggest man out there.
It is nonsense.
It can't all be nonsense. It can't all be.
I mean, he literally said just a week ago that Kawhi Leonard was not giving the Lakers a meeting. And guess what? Chris Haynes comes out and says, screw you, Woj. He is giving them a meeting. So what are you talking about? I'm the big man now. You might have left Yahoo. And once you left Yahoo, I became the top reporter in all of basketball. Just dropping a bomb on me, all Clipper fans, all Raptor fans, by stating that he's actually going to give LeBron James, Anthony Davis, Magic Johnson, Kobe Bryant a sit down. Oh my God, man. Oh.
They all get in the room with him. It's hard to say no to them 4 names.
It's so sad. It really is just sad to see.
The Clippers going to bring out Bob McAdoo?
Yep. The ghost of Bob McAdoo. Bring out, the completely, delusional, deluded Bill Walton. Just Corey Maggette, just throw them all out there. Just do it all, man. Just give him the best show. Like, just give Kawhi the best show of people he does not care about whatsoever. The only person I think Kawhi actually respects in the Clippers front office is Jerry West, okay? And I think there'll be a bit of respect towards Steve
That holds a
Ballmer.
lot of weight, though. Yeah, don't give up on that. It holds a lot of weight.
I mean, yeah, the logo is a smooth cat. Like, we heard about how he recruited Shaq to the Los Angeles Lakers.
He created a lot of the modern day dynasties.
But you see,
recent dynasties.
Yeah, but let's just throw this out there. Do you think he returns to the Toronto Raptors?
I mean,
yes or no?
If I got to give you a yes or no, I'm gonna say no.
Exactly. Okay. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. And the fact that it's just going to be between the Clippers, who have been stalking him like some weirdos this entire year, and then a group of people that Kawhi respects dearly. It's just gonna, man, it hurts. This entire season, I truly believe that Kawhi was gonna end up on the Clippers.
Yep,
that all went to trash the second that Chris Haynes report came out. Like, I went to bed punching myself, just distraught, man. Like, Kawhi, you were supposed to be the man who brings the Clippers from gutter and then leads them to the promised land that they never once reached. And now you're going to join the bad guys? You're going to form a super team with the Lakers? You do realize I disowned LeBron by simply joining the Lakers, right? Yeah, and LeBron was never rumored to the Clippers.
Yep.
So
just him landing on the Lakers made him act like he didn't even exist in your eyes.
So you doing this is just disgusting, okay? And I also cut off Kevin Durant for the move to Golden State, but now I'm starting to appreciate him more and more as I witness.
Because he's linked to your team.
No, as because LeBron joined the Lakers. I'm gonna be completely 100. It was because LeBron joined the Lakers. Like, had LeBron gone anywhere else, I would have been chill. But tough things to see. I'm disgusted, man. I'm disgusted.
So do you think he's a Laker?
I think he's a Laker, 100%. The Lakers won't be able. The Lakers won't be able to offer him like the full $141 million max that the Clippers would be able to offer, but they'd offer him $138 million.
Right.
And LeBron paying him under the table.
Space Jam.
Disgusting stuff coming out from Kawhi Leonard's camp. Steve Ballmer, I'm sorry, but like I said, once Kawhi Leonard signs the dotted lines with the Los Angeles Lakers, I am signing my fandom to the Memphis Grizzlies, as I do expect the Memphis Grizzlies to come to Seattle in 2023 when the CBA is up.
Here we go.
So yeah, hope you guys have a good one, Steve Ballmer and co. But yeah, I'm a Grizzly fan now. And I'm sorry, it's just what it is.
Ja Morant takes over Seattle.
Yes, sir. Ja, JJJ, and Brandon Clark. Welcome.
Oh, Lord.
So do you want to talk about your boy Jimmy right now?
Oh, I mean, I do, but I don't at the same time because I don't want to jinx anything.
You can't jinx it. That's the thing. You can't jinx it, man.
I know.
Like, you guys are first up to bat.
I jinxed the Hayward situation. I don't want to jinx this one. This would be way worse.
The thing is, I thought that Hayward was actually going to Boston well ahead. Like, I dropped my video claiming that Gordon Hayward was going to sign with them.
Yeah, chances are they were definitely the favorite over us. But like after our whole pitch to him, like he seemed really interested before he met with Boston. So it was like it seemed like we had a real shot after that meeting. So like I don't want to experience those same feelings with Jimmy.
And keep in mind, I actually think you guys have better assets to give Philadelphia than the Houston Rockets. Like he can.
Yeah, I think we do too. Actually, yeah.
And on top of that, like you guys are going to be meeting with him. And where? At where? Where is it? That
South Florida.
Exactly, Miami, South Beach.
He's coming to us.
Exactly, he's going to. I mean, he's there right now. Like, let's stop. He's on vacation, man. Chill.
But he's making everybody come there, and that just happens to be the spot where the Heat are. So,
and something
that speaks volumes.
Yep, exactly.
Just like Kevin Durant making everybody come to New York.
And the thing is, there are two teams mentioned through sign and trade. Two teams with absolutely no space to sign him outright. The Houston Rockets and Miami Heat. Houston obviously being known as Jimmy Butler's home. But as it stands, man, Florida and Texas, no state tax. So
Yes,
I
sir.
think he'd be able to save a lot of money by simply like going to Florida and just staying there. I don't think. Can you talk about it a bit and what it like how he'd fit into the team?
Well, in terms of a fit, I think it'd be a seamless fit. Like, we're probably going to have to let go of a guy like Josh Richardson, which would hurt because he's like one of our young guys. He was one of our rooks when we still had Chris Bosh and Dwayne Wade leading the charge. So like that would hurt. But I mean, in terms of a pure fit, like I really think our team is just starving for a star. So like if we get a star, is exactly what Jimmy is, I think he'll fit in perfectly. He'll have the ball in his hands. There won't be no problem with that. It'll be his show. End of the games, we know he's taking the shot, and that's what he lives for. Jimmy loves to do that. So everything he wants, he can really get. And he's going to get a lot of players around him that are going to play hard and not have to worry about if they're giving all their effort or if they're putting all their effort into their defense and tapping all into their potential, because we have a lot of players that are more than willing to do that. So I think Jimmy would definitely fit. And I mean, right now, especially if Kawhi goes to the Lakers, the East is wide open. So I'm not saying the Heat would make a run, but I mean,
You're saying the Heat would make a run.
They damn sure got a chance. They got a chance. I don't want to jinx it, but they got a chance.
The thing is, I don't think you guys have a chance at making a run to the finals with Giannis still in the East, and also with
we did. I mean, it's underrated, but I mean, it sounds real biased, but we actually do a solid job against Giannis. But I mean, we haven't seen him in a playoff series, we'll have to see.
Hypothetically, though, I do think the Miami Heat are a strong favorite to land Jimmy Butler. I think if he actually makes his decision really fast and before Kawhi and KD are even able to decide, I think he's going to end up in Miami.
Yeah, if he doesn't wait it out, I think so too. Because if he goes to if one of them end up going to the Clippers, for example, like Kawhi or KD, I feel like it might make him reconsider, like, oh wow, like I could really win, and like it would maybe change his mind a bit. But I think, like you said, if he does it fast, I think that makes Miami kind of the favorite, because it's you don't got to do much thinking.
And I'll be honest, I don't think he's going to Houston in any way, shape, or form. I don't see it happening. Yeah, I don't see it happening. In Miami, he'd be the guy. He'd have the ball in his hand. That's what Jimmy Butler is. That's have Jimmy Butler to end games. You want him to have the ball in his hands at the most. You want him to just dominate at the end of a game. Yep. Philadelphia, you saw that with Philadelphia. They needed him desperately. And where did he take them? He took them one shot shy from going, I think they would.
Yeah, people act as the Sixers got ran through in that series. Like, no, they were a real threat. Team. Yeah, they pushed the Raptors further than any other team, really.
His defensive ability, his ball handling, his shot creating ability just elevates teams to the next level. It's going to be a devastating blow to Philadelphia, but I do see him leaving regardless.
A player like Josh Richardson would help them a lot too, though. I mean, obviously, the star at end of the games kind of stuff like that would definitely hurt.
Goran Dragic. I think Goran Dragic would be a seamless fit with them. He's on a 1-year deal now?
Yeah,
just bring him in.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
1 year, it's expiring, all right?
That's what I'm saying.
And you have Josh Richardson has like a bargain deal. He has 3 years, $30 million left on his contract.
Exactly. And he's a seamless fit. Like you said, he's a seamless fit with the Philadelphia 76ers. Just get those two, sign this man, Tobias Harris. Get JJ Redick back, give him whatever he wants, and then make the trade. Sign a trade, send him there. Like, it'd be perfect in my opinion.
Yeah, I think it's everybody wins.
Yeah, I truly think Goran Dragic and this man Josh Richardson would be a better get for Philadelphia than, let's say, a PJ Tucker and Eric Gordon.
Right, yeah.
It's not like Philadelphia is just going to give him away and no, they'll have some say in it.
Right.
So if he really likes Miami and he really likes Houston, he's going to Miami.
Yeah.
Point blank, period. Okay?
I think if it comes down to them two, yeah.
But with that being said, it won't just come down to them two, because Jimmy Butler will be flying out to Southern California. And that's where Houston will be meeting him at. So I guess you want to talk about both LA teams or
I mean,
just take the lead here.
all right. I'll take it from the Lakers direction. I'll let you cover the Clippers, but
Yes, sir.
from the Lakers pick, it's just like, sheesh. As a Heat fan, just can't get away from LeBron, man. He's always lurking in the shadows. I understand he's the best player in the league, probably still, and all that, but I just feel like he's always there and always trying to recruit. I mean, that's what he's good at. So I mean, Jimmy, there obviously I think he's still a great fit because he's going to be asked to play defense, which what they definitely need, and he can definitely provide, and he has no problem providing. He's going to be asked to make big shots and take big shots at certain points because, as we know, LeBron is a pass-first player, and Anthony Davis hasn't really been put in many of those situations. So I think Jimmy has a real chance in LA to be not necessarily their closer, but he's definitely a guy they would look at to make big shots, and he lives for that too. So, and he wants to win. So if he really wants to win, playing alongside LeBron and Anthony Davis gives him a pretty damn good chance to win.
Exactly. His play would take a massive hit going to the Lakers. He'd obviously right away he'd know what he'd be getting himself into as the third member of that big three.
Mm-hmm.
He wouldn't have the ball in his hands as much, but he still is able to offer shooting and his defense, which is a big factor in what makes Jimmy Butler.
Right.
So I think the Lakers would, be able to actually win him in, and I think he'd be their second best option. I think number one's obviously Kawhi, number two Jimmy Butler, and then number three, I don't have it as signing D'Angelo Russell. I have it as filling out the roster with some free agents such as Patrick Beverley, getting somebody like a Danny Green, a Marcus Morris, just filling out your roster with some solid pieces and some depth, rather than just exhausting your funds in a player like D'Angelo Russell. So,
quick side note on that, though. Question actually for you. Do you think, D'Angelo's probably not going to look for the max, is he?
He is going to look for the max from other teams, but not from the Lakers, in my opinion. I think he'd be able to.
If he took a little bit less from there, would you do that and then use the rest for role players or no? You all in on the role players.
I don't think you'd be able to spend much on the role players. I think you'd be left with
not much,
$10 million. I think you'd be left with $10 million to play with. And Danny Green isn't cheap, in my opinion, even though he should be cheap. I think what he brings to the table, I'd value it around $6 to $7 million. And then I'd it's just, man, a lot of these
there'd be a lot of obstacles to jump through to.
Yeah, a lot of these role players are trying to get money, and I mean real money.
There's a lot of good role players in this free agency.
Yep, and Patrick Beverley, I think, is trying to get $12 to $15 million, not $7 million deal. So I think it's all or nothing. I think it's just going to be D'Angelo plus one role player, not role players. Okay,
right.
So. No, it's just going to.
So would you do that though? Would you take D'Angelo and Danny Green, for example, over a full roster of role players around LeBron and AD?
No, I wouldn't. I really wouldn't.
That's interesting.
So yeah, with that being said, my pitch to Jimmy Butler and why I think he potentially signed with the LA Clippers is okay. I just want to say this. Okay, remember when those reports came out saying that the Clippers don't care about Jimmy Butler?
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah.
It was absolutely funny to me, and that's why I was laughing, saying no, that can't be true, because Jimmy Butler and Kawhi would be great fits with one another, in my opinion. They both are about basketball, and they are both about winning at any means. They pour their souls, heart and soul, into the sport of basketball. So I just found it completely blasphemous that reports actually came out saying that the Clippers were
saying otherwise.
That they're only going for Kevin Durant and Kawhi Leonard. Why? In what world does that make sense? And on top of that, Jerry West loves Jimmy Butler, and Jimmy Butler knows that. Okay, Jimmy Butler knows that he has the utmost respect coming from Jerry West, and when Jerry West loves you, then I think you'll want to play for him. And I think that Jimmy Butler to the Clippers is obviously I think we're number 2 on his list, honestly.
The longer the things play out, the more your guys' chances increase, I think.
Especially with Kawhi. The thing is, he'll be in LA around the time that Kawhi's pupil will be in LA. It's not, confirmed whether Kawhi himself will be attending the Lakers meeting. And the
That's so
Clippers,
crazy.
yeah. And the thing is, the Clippers haven't been leaking anything out to the media, so I don't know if he'll be in LA at the time. But if we're able to get Jimmy Butler, I think that'll bolster our chances at getting Kawhi. So I think, there's a big possibility that Kawhi actually ends up playing for the LA Clippers next season. But as it stands, I do have the Miami Heat as the favorites to land his talents.
That's what I like to hear.
I have it as the Miami Heat number 1, the Clippers number 2, the Philadelphia 76ers number 3, and then at the bottom, very slim chance, the Houston Rockets. I just don't think he'll be able to play well with James Harden and Chris Paul. 3 ball-dominant players and 3 hotheads, no.
I can only imagine Harden dribbling at the top of the key, trying to break his man down, and Jimmy in the corner just
Jimmy
absolutely
will slap
losing
that
it.
man. That's
absolutely losing it.
Jimmy, oh, nah. You don't want Jimmy in the locker room playing with Harden and Chris Paul. No. Remember Chris Paul all them guys trying to sneak into the Clippers locker room? I think there's going to be a brawl going on in the Houston Rockets locker room if Jimmy Butler were to be signed by them.
Wait, so you have the Lakers as not even an option?
No, my bad. I got the Lakers ahead of the Philadelphia 76ers. The Lakers are third.
Ahead of the Sixers? Well, yeah.
Then Sixers fourth. Then,
yeah, I mean, the whole Sixers situation is real weird to me because it's the big thing is the big thing for Jimmy and the Sixers at least is the 5th year, and they're really hell-bent on not giving him that 5th year.
That's 100. Yeah, I think if they
really don't want to give him the 5th year, but if they do, he's down.
I don't blame them.
He's ready to commit.
I don't blame them
at the moment, but they don't want to give that 1 extra year. It's really
could you blame them though? Could you blame them?
I mean, not really, but I mean, it's just
that knee may be an issue, and the dude isn't young either. I believe he's going to be 30 real soon.
Kawhi, that's why I'm saying the whole Kawhi and Toronto thing. Kawhi leaves. They had real success against Milwaukee.
That's what I'm saying.
The roster was built. So it's
give him. I mean, if they give him the 5th year, then they're going to the finals. Let's be clear.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I really think they could because the Bucks are not retaining all them role players that played all that great. They're not getting them all. They're not keeping them all.
Yeah. I mean, they just lost Nikola Mirotic, and they're going to lose Brook Lopez. They're giving Chris Middleton the 190 mil max over 5 years. So, I mean, they're going to bring back Malcolm Brogdon, and that'll be it, okay? They're going to lose everybody else. Bring back Malcolm and Chris, and that's it. So, I mean, I think Philly would be the favorites if that were to go down, without a doubt. But, man, why? You're right. They're not offering the 5-year max, which is wild to me now that I think about it because apparently they're giving it to Tobias Harris.
Yeah, exactly.
Tobias over Jimmy, the guy who actually produced in the playoffs. Tobias wasn't nowhere to be found. Mike Scott hit a big shot, not Tobias. Wild to me. Wild. But if they don't offer Tobias the 5-year max, I think Tobias is actually going to go to Brooklyn.
I think if things do end up stringing along and taking a long time, I think that could also benefit the Sixers too, though, because like I said, if Kawhi decides to go west, I think the Sixers management, Elton Brand, and them
become more enticing.
They'll jump on that 5th year.
Yes, sir.
Very fast.
That's a good point. I didn't even think about that, to be honest. But that's a really good point you just made there. So Jimmy Butler may be the key to a lot of people talk about KD, but how would KD be the key if he's going to make his decision last?
When we first started this conversation, I said Kevin Durant we should start with, but it looks like we should have started with Jimmy with all these scenarios.
I was hoping you were going to say Jimmy. I swear to God I was. I was hoping Kevin Durant was going to be last. But things happened in the way that they did. But Jimmy has the world in his hands as it stands, man. He has the world in his palms. What he decides to do will have a lasting effect on the rest of the free agency class.
100%.
Because Elton Brand can't let Jimmy leave and then not sign Tobias to whatever Tobias wants.
Yeah, he has to keep one of them.
Yeah, he has to keep one of them no matter what. And, it's just wild, wild stuff, man. With that being said, I think that pretty much wraps everything as it stands. I think Tobias Harris is just staying in Philadelphia the second they offer him the 5-year max. I think
they offer it, he's taking it.
Yeah, I think he's gonna stay no matter what, unless he gets a 4-year off from them and then he goes to the Nets with Kyrie Irving.
Yeah.
since he's from Brooklyn, obviously, and there's
Mm-hmm.
a lot of strong ties there. So yeah, is there any last things you want to address before we go off air?
No, not really. Just thanks for having me on again. That's all I can really say.
No problem, man. You had some really great perspectives to offer today. Like a lot of things you said, I didn't even think about. So I appreciate you for coming on today. Once again, you guys can follow Sheed at rtyree22 on Twitter. And if you're on YouTube, you can see his at on the left side of the screen. So make sure to give him a follow. So yeah, guys, with that being said, that has been our free agency preview for the 2019 season. If you guys enjoyed, make sure to leave a 5-star rating review on this podcast. Make sure to leave a like on YouTube and subscribe, obviously, for more episodes to come out. And, I really enjoy making these podcasts. I did run into an issue, though, so don't expect this episode to come out on Spotify or Apple Music just yet. It'll be out July 1st, so be on the lookout for that. But for SoundCloud and YouTube, you are going to be watching this tomorrow, right before free agency. So have at it, guys. With that being said, have a good one. Peace out.